everybody. True Baller Thursday. I am your host, J. Coazit. To my right, my True Baller brother.
Yes, sir.
The Reggie Mathis.
How's it going?
And on my left is Brianna Buckets herself, my special guest. Brianna, thank you so much for coming.
You're so very welcome.
We are so excited to have you on here. You are setting all kinds of history. You're the first woman to appear on True Baller Thursday, which would make you the first every kind of woman, the first black woman, the first however old you are woman.
The first. Keep that on the low.
Exactly. So, Brianna is a former college ball player, so she knows the game. So we brought her on here to lend her expertise. Now, I don't have any college footage, but I did find some lost high school footage that I would like to show, just so you guys know that this lady is for real.
How far back is this? This is grainy VHS?
This is senior year. No, I think somebody probably filmed this on an iPhone.
Okay.
I have no idea. Listen, to this day, I still don't have any idea who
made that.
Yeah, swear.
Really?
That's how small Peoria was.
They dedicated to you. It wasn't like the team. This was Brianna Buckets herself.
They did the major players in Peoria.
I didn't watch past you.
Like this, I was trying to figure out who put this video up, trying to find information, and I just went on their page. They have like other, they had other bigger players.
I get you.
All right, well, we don't
collaborate. I got a lesson I've been done to elaborate. With no reference to my preference, let me illustrate. I take my time to teach kids how to rhyme. It starts with a thought. I suggest you do some reading. It helps to have compassion to express what you're feeling. Avoid using words if you don't know what's the meaning.
I feel like it was a storyline. It was like a WWE season. They wrote some good stories.
The writers is back there.
Yes, the good writers. They booked some good matches. You know what I mean? They got us.
Commissioner was back there whipping them, and getting to make sure that they get the storylines correct.
Exactly.
If it weren't for the injuries, I would say this is probably.
And I'm gonna tell you that went both ways, because it kind of made the season more interesting.
You say that,
but in other ways, yes. Okay. No, because I'm telling you, because it totally changed the storyline.
It did.
It totally. And we'll talk about that later. We will talk about that later. I'll explain my statements later in the show. So, first things first, since it's the end of the season, we got awards. We're only going to talk about the one award that matters. Who should be the MVP?
Okay.
So, we've got James Harden as a nominee. We got Westbrook.
Oh, my God.
The Browns. Kevin Durant.
Is that Photoshop?
No.
Is that how she really looks? That's how the young
listen, I said.
I think it is Photoshop.
No,
she was in a couple movies.
The Durant one looks like face swap.
I don't know, man.
That's Kenyatta Durant right there.
I don't know.
Why does she have to have that name?
I don't know.
Why couldn't her name been Brittany or something?
Well, it's got to be something with a K.
Oh, yeah, true.
It could be Katrina.
Katrina.
Is that better? Katrina?
I
Kimberly
like that.
Durant. This is why we have women on trying to check us immediately.
Stop that bullshit right now.
Who's gonna check me, boo? Shit. All right, but for real though, who you got for MVP?
Logically, who do I have? All right, who's gonna win it? I should say.
Okay, go ahead. Who's gonna win it?
So, James Harden's gonna win it.
I agree.
He's gonna win it. But I'm gonna put this caveat.
Okay.
The one man, just like Michael Jordan in his prime, who could have won it every year. LeBron James has been doing a yeoman's work in Cleveland. He could definitely be MVP. Should, but Harden's gonna win.
So, this exact Rockets team, no Harden. What place do they finish at?
They get 7 or 8. Yeah. 7 or 8.
Same thing with Cleveland. They what? They're right there with Phoenix and Atlanta, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they tanking. Yeah.
Absolutely. They trying to get, what's his name, DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, they getting DeAndre Ayton. They trying to get Luka Doncic.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So I agree. I think LeBron deserves it, but we all know who's going to get it.
Yes.
All right, so other interesting things at the end of the season. You know what it means. Coaches gonna lose their jobs,
Yeah.
deservedly or not. So first one, Frank Vogel, gone at Orlando. Did he deserve that?
Man, that's hard. That's hard.
This I think, and listen, I was not a huge Vogel fan when he was in Indiana.
Yeah, right.
I think he did some good things, but I didn't think he was all that they were hyping him up to be, because they won his first year's coaching, they won, but they just had talent. And they kind of had a system in place that he took over. But I don't think he deserved this. He had a horrible team.
That's the thing.
Like, did you guys just bring him on because you thought he was going to lose games?
I mean, let's look at some of the players that they lost. I mean, Orlando, Oladipo is about to win Most Improved Player of the Year. Sabonis, they traded him before they even got him in. So, like, Orlando's a mess. It's hard to say if he had a fair shot.
He didn't have a fair shot. He absolutely did not have a fair shot, but I think it was on purpose.
So I have a question for
Yes.
you. So you mentioned that he had a terrible team, which means kind of, sort of, it wasn't really his fault that he got fired. So do you feel like other, like, I would say better teams, their coaching should be evaluated as well, no matter the wins? You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we actually talked about this.
Yes, we've had
in depth. And one of my campaigns through the whole season of True Baller Thursday is Tyronn Lue does not need to be the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He is the worst. He's like useless. You could put Frank Vogel in there. He probably
we just saw that, right?
better.
They had Dwayne Casey. Was it Dwayne Casey? No.
No, Drew.
Larry Drew. Larry Drew was coaching.
Yes, and
they went 8-1 or 9-1.
9-1. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, when you got LeBron James, he's really the coach. So anybody is just a figurehead at that point.
They should.
Yeah.
I think if you didn't win the championship, your job, you shouldn't necessarily just be on a hot seat every year. Trust the process. I think that's something that everybody should be using.
But
have a plan in place.
Exactly.
And let that plan play out. But every coach should be reevaluated.
Now imagine if Frank was given the same leisure as Brett Brown in Philly with their process. I mean, that's been 4 years, and now they're starting to blossom. Frank has only got 2 years in Orlando, and they have no direction. So, yeah, I don't think that's right, man.
Yeah.
And Frank is a good coach. I believe he'll land somewhere. I'm not sure. He'll probably be assistant coach somewhere.
You think so?
Yeah. Somebody's going to scoop him up.
Somebody mentioned him that he would actually be a good coach for our next vacancy, the New York Knicks.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, I don't think Hornacek was a good coach. I think this was a deserving
This was a terrible hire.
Yes, it was.
This was a terrible hire.
It looks like they just fired him.
Yeah, right.
Like he just walked out of the office and somebody snapped it. Oh my gosh.
Really, y'all? Okay.
Sorry.
They picked these pictures on purpose, let me tell you. But I agree. I think he was a horrible coach in the beginning, a horrible choice in the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm real skeptical with all these former players. Like, there have been, anytime you have something that works, everybody wants to try it.
Yeah.
So you get something like Steve Kerr, which is not his fault that they're winning.
And the thing about Steve Kerr is he kind of built himself up through the ranks. He didn't just hop into the coaching position, to the coaching box. He went into the front office. He learned about the ins and outs. He learned the scouting, and then he finally got an opportunity to be a coach. Hornacek, who had a good run, a little semi-good run in Phoenix before they kind of switched things around. He was a terrible hire.
Yeah.
He didn't even want to run the triangle. He was forced to run the triangle, and the only reason he was hired was because he was going to run the triangle.
Right.
And now the guy who wanted him to run the triangle isn't there.
He's gone.
So get him up out of here. Ain't no reason for him to be there.
Yeah, no, I don't think he should get another job anytime soon. They are talking about...
Man, you said, hey, you done it.
I mean, assistant. He could be an assistant somewhere, or a scout or something. I don't know. I think I did hear reports that when he walked out of the office, maybe it was right after they took his picture, he did say goodbye to the New York Knicks.
I forgot all about that.
That's tough.
Rumors of Mark Jackson. I don't think that's a bad choice. I think he was undeservedly fired in Golden State.
Yeah. Yes. So very much so. And to be honest, New York needs some tough love. They need a guy who's going to come and be a hard-nosed coach and that is loved by the city. Mark Jackson is a New York and bred, so bring him in.
I think if he wants it, he's probably that's the most chance of going. So, all right. So we trying to move through this beginning segments here so we can get to the real deal because everybody wants to talk about playoffs. But you know what we got to do before that? We got to talk about our ballers of the week.
Ballers.
Wanna be a baller, up in the spot. Wanna be a baller, up in the spot. They like baller alert. They're heaven for a baller. I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller.
All right, so this week I did a little bit different since it's the extra special playoff extravaganza edition. Me and Reggie picked our own ballers. So Reggie, we're gonna go with you first. Who is your baller of the week and why?
This guy is becoming a legend right before our eyes, Mr. Russell Westbrook. Brody himself. Listen, I kind of hated on him last year just because I love Oscar. I went to Addicts. I am an Oscar fan through and through. But to do it a second season, when you've got more talent that supposedly is supposed to cut down on your opportunities, listen, we're not gonna see this again. We are kind of being, just like with LeBron James, we're kind of being a little bit spoiled with his exploits. But man, like that's ridiculous. A triple-double 2 years in a row. And I mean, I get it. Last game was kind of wild. He was just chasing the rebounds, but somebody got to go get them boards, man. And he's getting them. So
did you hear about this whole conspiracy with him stealing rebounds?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so apparently, and I'm gonna talk about this in a little bit, but apparently they are accusing him. Now they meaning the media.
The media.
That he's stealing rebounds from his teammates in order to pad his stats.
I don't really think, and honestly, being a post player, I don't really think you can steal it because you have to work really hard to get a rebound. Like,
exactly.
Oh my gosh! Like getting rebound. I swear, I've gotten majority of my injuries getting rebounds.
Yes, bodies colliding.
Like
yes.
When I mean injuries, I mean I strained my tore fibers from my ACL getting a rebound. So I don't really see how they kind of correlate that with him stealing, trying to, you know, get his stats up there, make sure he hit that triple-double. That's work.
That's work. You have to be a tireless athlete to chase rebounds, not just to do that, but then to go down and score 25 points. Then also
to get your teammates involved at least 10 times.
Oh, he's a monster, and along with the, rebounds, I used to get rebounds, and luckily in my high school, one of the girls, she was a track star, so she was really fast, and I knew if I got this, we were playing a hard team, I had to get this rebound no matter what. Like, that's what my team depended on me for. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta run down the court, now we gotta make another play, I'm tired already. I thought about her, she shoot down, she's already half the court. People think she's cherry picking and she's not, because she's so fast. So you are absolutely right. Getting a rebound and going down on offense and scoring 25, not 12, not 14, right. 25 points.
Exactly.
At the highest level.
I love this quote from him because it basically illustrates exactly what you're just talking about. It illustrates my job is to do everything, and that's what I do.
Man.
Like, you can't put it better than that.
You can't.
So I have a question. Me and Reggie earlier in the season had a discussion about the best point guards in the league.
Okay.
So, Reggie,
can I have
would you possibly reconsider? My best was this guy right here. Reggie's like, no, not Westbrook.
But I don't even
this is a perfect time to bring that up.
Yeah, right. But I don't even listen, hear me out. I don't even look at Westbrook as a point guard. I just look at him as a ball player. Like, Westbrook is going to do everything needed to win. I don't look at him as a point guard. His assists.
I don't see color.
Exactly. Listen. I am progressive.
How do you match him up with other players? You know how like some players like, oh, this player can go against this one. How do you match him up when you see that he can do everything?
Well, that's the thing.
Like his position can move over.
I look at him just like I look at LeBron, every position type of player. Like I look at Draymond. I don't look at them as just a one position player. I look at Steph as he's more of a 2 than a point. I look at Damian Lillard as he's more of a 2 than a point. So that's just kind of my hang-ups.
You think Dame is more of a 2?
I think he's more of a 2. He only gets about 6 assists a game.
Okay.
So
yeah, he's a scorer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now for my baller, young man, rookie season, barely rookie season.
Yeah. Come on.
Because he didn't even start playing till what, like a month ago?
Listen, man, the process was working. They was working the process.
This is the man that I was making fun of because he didn't know how to shoot the ball anymore. And then all of a sudden, this last week, Mr. Markelle Fultz got his first triple-double.
The youngest player.
And the youngest player in NBA. Look, he's so young, they put water on him. It's not even...
Ain't no shit.
It's not even champagne.
Hey, they're still on the court. They can't do anything.
Right. So that's my baller because he's come so far from not being able to shoot the ball to getting triple-doubles and contributing to your playoff team, who already was humming when he got in there. Like, to fit in, to be able to find a spot, that's not easy.
And I love the support that they showed him getting the triple-double. That's just genuine love for your teammate right there. And that says everything that I need to know about Philly's chances as we talk about in a little bit about the chances in this playoffs. That's love. That's love for your teammate right there.
Yes, it is. All right, so from the love to the not so love. Blue dog shit. Baller of the week.
I don't give a fuck what you call it. Put a chokehold on the motherfucker and call it blue dog shit. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck what you call it.
I need to look at my.
All right, my bad. I do that every time. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for the. Oh wait, it's over already.
Blue dog shit.
That's all he says. I don't care. Okay. Reggie, again, I'm letting you go first, my friend. Who is your blue dog shit play of the week and why?
This man, he is 7 feet tall. He shoots probably about half his shots from 3. His name is Miles Turner. If the Pacers are gonna do anything in the playoffs, they gonna need Miles Turner to do more than scoring 7 points. This last month, he was getting about 6-7 points a game. This last week, he was putting up 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. Listen, I need my 7-footer to get more than 6 rebounds. I need him to get more than 7 points a game as well.
Is that a reasonable request?
I could say I went to the game when they played Miami Heat. Oh my gosh, Miami Heat shouldn't even. I wish they weren't even
in the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, it's like how I think it's just because Dwayne, the last name Wade is in it, and they just
pushing them forward.
They just pushing them forward. Let me tell you, because I always seen. I've been here in Indiana for almost 3 years now, but I never really was an urge to go to the Indiana Pacers because they were never really that good. So
it's
we get it. I used to go to their free events, like
everybody
fan jam. Give me a free T-shirt.
Get you some free T-shirts. Get you some swag.
Yeah, so it's like I never really liked the team. Honestly, the last team I really liked for real is the Memphis Grizzlies back in 2008. Like
grind.
A season was stellar, but they were. Oh my gosh, he was not. I don't think he was really himself playing against them. Like surprisingly, I think they beat Miami.
Yeah, but they've been winning in spite of Miles Turner. But in order for them to go further, they're going to need Miles Turner, or he could sit on the bench and they could bring in Sabonis, who has been playing pretty well.
But also, Thaddeus Young. He, it's so funny that my stepdad's son's wife, that's her brother.
Okay.
If that makes any
sense. Let's break it down.
My dad's son.
So that would be your stepbrother.
Yes, technically. His sister, they're together.
Okay.
That's
so
her.
your stepsister is with Thaddeus Young.
I'm sorry, that's her brother. I'm tweaking. This is live. Can we cut?
Negative.
Tape. No, that's her brother.
Oh, her brother.
That's her brother.
Okay.
So I never
degrees
really met him, but I used to hear about him, all the time. I was like, oh my gosh, like he's fired. He was going off. Like no, like you know how like it's some teams you can. I don't know if you guys played a lot of sports, but sometimes you can play down to your level of the team that you're playing. So if you're a really good team, this team is really bad, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna play on their level.
Terrible.
Which is unfortunate. I don't know why we used to get in trouble so much in high school for doing it. My coach is like, why are y'all playing against a team that hasn't won any games this year?
Because you overlook them.
He was still, excelling. Like I was, everybody else is like, it's kind of a practice game in a way, but he was going crazy.
And I like this Pacer squad. I love what Thaddeus is bringing to the table. I love what Oladipo's bringing to the table. This guy, blue dog shit, has got to bring a little bit more.
Gotta bring it.
He's better than that, though.
Yeah, he's better than that. You can't let him hang it.
Speaking of bringing it, my blue dog shit baller ain't gonna bring it. He hasn't brought it all season.
He hasn't.
But this ain't about that. As we just discussed, Russell Westbrook has been under attack for stealing rebounds, for stealing stats, whatever. So they talked to his teammate, Mr. Carmelo Anthony. And Carmelo's like, yeah, ha, ha, ha. He be stealing rebounds. Makes a joke out of it. Talks about it. No, sir. You get on there and you shut that shit down.
Yeah. Yes.
You shut it down. So basically what that tells me is you just don't want him to be getting the attention, you're mad about it, or you actually feel like he's stealing rebounds.
I think it's the latter.
That's what I felt.
I think it's the latter.
You pretend you fake joking, but it's actually real feelings that you're having.
Yes.
And this is why you ain't succeeding this year. Oklahoma is where they at. Number 4, which they moved from 6 to 4 in the last night. In spite of this, man, blue dog shit Melo.
Before you move on, I do want to mention something.
Please.
Speaking of Westbrook and how someone should have taken up for him. I don't know if you guys watch any other radio shows or whatever the case is, and I watch Breakfast Club so much. Charlamagne the God is, I feel like he's my cousin or something. But he gave, let's see, get the names correct. He gave a Fox Sports Oklahoma play-by-play, Brian Davis, I believe, the donkey of the day. And I'm guessing when Westbrook, in the game they're commentating, and he said, is Westbrook out of his cotton picking mind?
I heard that.
And I was like, what?
That's the Oklahoma for you. Yeah. That's the Oklahoma for you. Yes.
I was like, okay.
That would have never happened in Seattle.
I was just caught by, I'm just like, are you kidding me? And of course, I'm from the South, as we mentioned before we went on air. I mean, you don't even have to be from the South to know that that's just something
it's a no-no.
You don't bring up. What are you guys' thoughts about that?
I think that the announcer didn't even think twice about it. It's not on his radar, so therefore it was natural for him to say. And he probably didn't think he did anything wrong.
Yes, and it looks like he's a Thunder's broadcast for 8 seasons. Yep. So, I mean, he's well aware of who Westbrook is. Yeah. I mean, and I'm pretty sure the type of aura that he walks around with, and he's out of his cotton.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing is, regardless of the actual comment, the fact that that's your team that you cover night in and night out, and you showing that kind of disgust to somebody who is...
You shouldn't. Why is cotton picking mind the first thing to come out your mouth when you're talking about black athletes playing basketball?
So what would be yours if, who's your favorite player?
If, one LeBron James.
So if LeBron James just came down with a sick move, I mean, just
LeBron James
360 Euro step mixed with a triple-double dunk. What would be your first word?
This is my call. LeBron James coming down the lane. 2-step, hop. Oh my God!
That was cool. Now, next.
Ain't no cotton picking mine. I ain't
right. Cotton picking. That's how I was trying. I'm like, okay, is he saying anything racial?
Oh, yeah. No. I'd be like, I'm gonna pick LeBron too. That's my man. I would pick Antetokounmpo, but I can't say his name. So I'm gonna say LeBron. LeBron dribbles up the court to the half court line, fakes, goes left, goes right. Is he gonna pass it? No. He drives down the lane. Oh my God! That man is the best player on the planet. Did you see what he did? If you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. NBA is fantastic.
Okay, that would be a commercial.
but what about messing up though? Like that's the thing. Like cotton picking is for somebody messing up.
Yes.
And I think that if you ask me, I would probably have a problem with cursing.
Yeah. The first I would have said, "See how this motherfucking money."
The fuck is nigga doing? Straight on him like, go get your last.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it. I was going
to you have the Hornacek face.
Yeah. Can I get some of that chicken in the back? Y'all still got some craft services. Let me grab some of that.
Let me get some OT.
Yeah, give us.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the crux of the episode, playoffs. So before we actually talk about the games, I want to talk about playoff basketball. So we hear about this thing, we get into the playoffs, and like the game is different. When you get into the playoffs, it's a whole other thing. This is playoff basketball. It's not regular season basketball. Is playoff basketball a real thing? Is it a myth? Is it just a little overreaction? Tell me your thoughts. I know you had lots of thoughts on this. Brianna, I'm going to let you go first.
I would say there is most definitely a difference. I would say during the season, you still take it serious, but at the same time, it's like, okay, cool. You know, let me see what I can work with this team. I know their stats. I know who they have. We already scouted them for a week. Okay, let me see if this works. Okay, usually for myself, playing in college ball or even high school, you play these teams at least twice. So you have two opportunities to either win or you have two losses to make up in playoffs and say, okay, cool. Those two options didn't work because, of course, the coach is going to switch stuff around the second time around. And let's see if this works. I'm going to hit him with the triple-double. The third time has to work. So that's the thing where now you see even in the NCAA, which I know you probably don't watch. I don't know who else watches. But everybody know they're like known for their upsets because anything can happen. It's literally do or die at this point. Like, we're both, you know, playing for a certain result, which is the championship, the rings, however you want to, you know, put it. But at the same time, in the season, you have opportunity to have a bad day or have a bad game.
Exactly.
In playoffs, like you said, in college, you're pretty much one and done. Here, luckily, they get more than one chance. But at the same time, LeBron, I remember when I did really keep up with it really for real, he played every game like it was his last. And that's how you should play. That's what the quotes on Google tell you to do.
Right.
But in all reality, coming from a real live athlete, you know, ex-athlete, you are going to have some bad games.
Exactly.
You know, so that's the thing where in playoffs, there's no room for error. That's why I say that they are different because you do walk in with a whole different attitude. I remember my coach going into, plenty of them said it before, and it rings true, how whenever you enter, of course, your season, you're probably 24-4, you know, whatever the case is. Once you step in playoffs, it's 0-0.
Yep.
Until you finish out, you know, of wherever you're gonna, you know, whatever result y'all looking for. So in my opinion,
I totally agree. I say, and here's the thing. It's 82 games, man. Like it's hard to be Westbrook 82 games. Westbrook is an anomaly.
Yeah.
It's hard to be that into every game and making sure that you playing with your all. Now playoffs, you got time in between games. You got to actually focus and scout the team through and through. Like this isn't coming off of a back-to-back where you get in at 3 o'clock in the morning and then you get some rest. You have shoot around at 9 and then you all of a sudden you're playing a team later on that evening. This is all right. We know this team through and through. We got the playbook. We know what they like to run. We know where they like the ball. What sets they like to run. So it's a different animal. And the best players, they understand that this is their time where they're going to make or break their legacies. So this is where you have to give it your all. Those rebounds that you usually will let just kind of slide, go out of bounds. Nah, you going after them. You trying to get those rebounds. You're trying to elbow, do whatever you can, little sneak things, anything that you can do to get the upper hand, because you're going home if you lose.
So here's my question. Athletes are often asked during the season about playing hard during a game in particular. And they always, from what I've seen, is they balk at that question. So if they are balking at the question of taking a day off during the regular season, doesn't that mean that they're playing to their maximum during the regular season?
I think they play to the maximum in spurts. So it's about, okay, we got 8 minutes left. We're down 10. Let's give it 5 good minutes. See if we can get this down. At least get into 2 within 3. Then we can play the last 3 minutes and see where we're at.
That's true.
It's not about now. It's like LeBron James. He's gonna play 46, 47 minutes.
See,
he's not gonna sit down and take those breaks like he would in the regular season.
And that's where I think playoff basketball is a myth, because I don't think LeBron James plays that much differently in the playoffs. I think the coach coaches the game differently.
Okay.
So LeBron is going to get the ball more. He's going to play more minutes. So yes, his average is going to go from, 29, 30 points to 33 points a game because he's seeing more touches.
Well,
there's a smaller rotation in the playoffs.
Let's look at the 2016 finals with LeBron. You think that's the same LeBron that plays normally? Normally, LeBron is not getting the triple-double. He averaged a triple-double against the Warriors in 2016 finals and the 2015 finals.
Well, I think the thing is, I most definitely understand where you're coming from as far as he's not the same player pretty much. But there's growth over time, just like when I went from high school to my junior college and I went to a Division II college. I didn't play the same each year. But I do get what you're saying. But at the same time, during the season, and I would say as well, you have time to get those injuries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now you see, like we were talking before earlier, and we're like, oh, so-and-so's back up and running, but I don't think they're going to be 100%.
Yep.
Like, they don't get out there and do what you
exactly.
do. It's playoffs.
It's
Just
playoffs.
imagine, and honestly, for real, like you said, I really agree on a comment that you made, and you said that this is their time to make or break their legacy.
Yes.
And that's right. Just like we were at work talking about shoes, what shoes are named after the infamous game that Michael Jordan flu game?
Yes, exactly.
So they're like, oh, he was sick, he had the flu. Everybody know now. Just imagine now having the 2017-18 flu, trying to go out and play.
Can you imagine when LeBron James?
It was not the flu, by the way. It was food poisoning / drunkenness.
No, it was definitely drunkenness. It was inebriation. But can you imagine when LeBron James comes out with his block? He's gonna have the big block shoes, where the shoes that he wore when he blocked Igor Adala's shot. That's gonna be talked about. Like this is legacy defining stuff, and you've got to bring it.
Yeah. You do have to bring it. I mean, you do have to bring it every night. I feel like it's a myth. I feel like it's an overblown statement. It's a narrative again. It's playoff basketball. That these players, this year, you telling me LeBron, he played 82 games for the first time in his career. This last 2-3 months, he was murdering the game. Every single game. He killed it. So, I don't know.
And he still only played about 35 minutes a game.
Exactly. And he's gonna play.
Now he's gonna
40,
play.
Yes.
He's gonna play 43, 44 minutes a game.
That's the coach's decision. So.
Or LeBron's decision.
Well,
LeBron's
LeBron is the coach.
LeBron's the coach.
LeBron is the coach. That's an anomaly.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go into our predictions. Our esteemed guest, Brianna Buckets, is gonna go first with her picks. Who you got for the playoffs?
To win it all. The Houston Rockets.
The Houston Rockets to win it all. So
James Harden is not letting up on no one. Like, he's eating out here. Like, yeah, Westbrook, doing his thing, and
I hear you.
Durant can too. Wade, he pop up. Let's not even talk about the Heat. Every now and again, but I feel like it's gonna be James Harden's year. Like I feel like everyone's won a ring and did something, except him. Am I wrong? Y'all agree?
No, I mean as far as the top players in the league right now, him and Westbrook are.
Do you see they bench?
They're playing amazing.
I'm just saying the bench matters too.
Yes.
Some teams you have about maybe.
Cleveland
looking at the rosters like I did today, you got maybe 2. Now you're lucky if you get 3 or 4.
Talking about a bad space
on one team. Your bench means a lot because once that 10-minute mark hit. And you breathing like you just smoked up 2 packs of Newport.
Yes.
Who's going to back you up to come and get those rebounds that everybody say Westbrook is stealing?
Yes.
So who's going to do it?
Preach it, Brianna.
So to that point, explain to me quickly why you picked Boston to go to the finals. When they don't have a bench because they don't even have starters.
Well, actually, I honestly, since I haven't kept up with this too much and dived too deep in, because I didn't have enough time. If I really wanted to, I would have legit scouted all of these teams. But
we just found out last night where they were going to be at.
Well, I mean, you guys are familiar with, how these people completely play the ins and outs. I mean, from what I see is mainly highlights. And if I click to read a little more, I can see a little more of their stats and learn, So honestly, it depends on who was on the team, honestly. And I kind of matched up, which I wish I could have done, more research, but I would have matched up the players as well because, Westbrook is good. Let's say if, we had these teams together, Westbrook is good, but at the same time, can his post player really get rebounds or can his post player beat the other, outshine that other post player or, things like that because they do have matchups. You don't always have 3 good guards. You have a good guard, a 4, and a 5 or, so that's what I really wanted to do. But since I did not have a lot of time, which honestly I'm still not ashamed of it.
No, you should.
You should be. They got the
Nobody
president.
had time. I mean,
I'm betting on this.
They got the president.
I am betting on this masterpiece.
That's a masterpiece.
Probably not much.
On camera, live for all the social medias to dissect. All right, the Reggie Mathis picks. We going to you next.
Listen,
who you got?
I got the Rockets. I got the Rockets just like Miss Buckets over here said. I think what we're recognizing, and we kind of spoke on this a few weeks ago, the injuries are playing a role in how this narrative of the season is going to go. And I think this is the season that we're going to have a new champ. And it's going to be Harden. Harden and Chris Paul are finally going to cement themselves. They're going to get over the hump and not going to be known as the chokers in the playoffs anymore. And they're going to win. I think where there's smoke, there's fire. Golden State have some real issues.
Yes.
I'm not sure Golden State not only will they not be healthy throughout these playoffs, I don't know if they necessarily like each other the same like last year. It's a lot going on in that locker room. So Houston's coming out.
Okay.
They winning.
I went a little bit of a different way than everybody else.
Did you?
Of course.
I don't know if you guys had guessed. I got Houston making it, but Cleveland taking it. I want to break something down real quick. So, Reggie, I'm surprised you picked Utah over the Thunder. You have not had confidence in the Thunder all season. I didn't. And I came around the past 3-4 weeks because of Westbrook. So I got Oklahoma City doing that. They're not getting past Houston. Nobody in the West is. I am picking San Antonio.
Yeah,
because that's what I want to happen.
Okay. Kawhi coming back?
No. But if the Golden State Warriors lose, the first round is their best chance of losing because Curry is not going to be there.
They still got Durant.
Yeah. Okay, but Durant is going to feel the pressure, and if they lose a game or two, he's going to fake an injury. He's like, oh, man, my knee hurt. Mama, my knee hurt.
Hey, he's a mama's boy.
He is. Through and through. We talked about that last week.
Let him be. Let him be.
He's a grown man.
Listen, a man is what his mother makes him out to be. And if she's great and can go through the stuff that she went through to raise him, he will be a spectacular man.
Okay, then she needs to let him go. Once he is a man.
He almost 30 now.
Otherwise, he's not a man still.
He's not.
He needs to let go of about 10 of those phantom accounts.
Yeah.
How about he does that?
Big ups, Kevin Durant from Kevin Durant. All right. I am picking. Go ahead. What's your other comment? Because I know what you're going to talk about. Say it. Say it. Come at me.
I just see a couple of things here.
Okay, we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about each individual match.
Okay.
So then you can call me out on my individual picks after this. So, first up, we're going east, then west, starting from the number 1 team down.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto Raptors versus Washington Wizards. We got the regular season record right there. Toronto, Washington tied 2-2. I think everybody
thanks a lot,
has,
Michelle, and welcome to Washington, D.C. Capital One Arena here on a Friday night
you guys
as the Wizards continue their tough stretch of games against top 8 playoff teams tonight.
It only becomes interesting if Toronto starts choking. If they look like they're gonna, if they drop maybe the first game,
assist numbers this year,
then it becomes a little interesting. If they go 2-2, then it really becomes interesting because we know the history of the Toronto Raptors in the playoffs has not been good. If they start losing games to these sorry Wizards,
well, Bradley Beal is off to a better tell. Now, if you haven't seen him,
sorry Wizards,
he attempts 6 or 7 a game.
Trash Wizards.
That's within his range.
If they start losing games, then everybody's gonna turn up.
They are
create in the paint.
Yeah, right. Miami don't have no all-stars, no nothing.
Literally in the East, it's 8
smoke
teams
above
in
the
the
king when
playoffs,
those guys
and then the
collide.
rest
Oh,
of the
great
teams
steal.
can
Kyle
try to
Lowry
get
still a defensive
a
whiz.
lower like that's it. That's
Service at the
separation.
other end against
I'm just
Jakob
trying to
Pertl.
figure out
He got to
what
clear
it
out. He called for a clear out. On the blow-by,
He
kicks
has
it out
been
to
the
Satoransky with
most
3 on the
loyal
clock.
and kinda little
Got it
upset.
back after
Dwayne
repositioning.
Wade
That's
is
good
waiting.
basketball. If you've never seen Toronto
other
play
teams
this
have
year,
moved around.
well,
Even LeBron,
they
he
attempt
was mad at
32
LeBron
threes
for a little
That's
bit
5th
when
most
he
in
went
the
to
league. But they make
Cleveland,
11. They shoot a high percent. Otto Porter, he handled that beautifully.
I think there's the
the
bag is a share in ownership. That's the bag that that's the bag that he's sitting
He will
on.
beat Pat Riley one day.
Yeah.
He still scores a lot on
Right
drives
now.
as
All
he
right,
does
so
there.
next,
3rd in the
nobody care
league.
about
That is
Boston
no
Celtics,
other team in the
Milwaukee
league is
Bucks,
even close to that.
2-2 is the season record, but the last game the
I'm glad you said
Bucks
this.
won,
Yes, I'm glad you said it.
which is probably more indicative of what this series is going to look like because that's what the Boston Celtics look like right now. I got the Bucks beating the Celtics. Come at me.
I wish I could be with you, bro. But and I thought long and hard about this, but Brad Stevens is still coaching, man. The Boston Celtics, correct?
Yes.
He's not losing, not no first round.
Let me tell you, and the Ravens and I had a good
the Bucks
discussion
have to
about
play hard,
Milwaukee.
not just in this one, but every
And
night.
our
But against
consensus
the
is
Celtics,
that Milwaukee
for sure,
would have been
on
Philly
Thursday.
if they had this year with this team. You talk about nothing else.
last
If they
week.
had better management
Yes.
and had picked a good coach and stuff,
Yes.
they got talent.
So you mean to tell me it wasn't smart to go after Jason Kidd, who just was playing basketball a month before?
Well, no, but he
Coached New Jersey.
New Jersey, yes.
But he also has issues in New Jersey where he was arguing with his assistant coaches. He was actually sending assistant coaches home, and there was some things about maybe sleeping with some. So I couldn't put no faith in any decision that was coming by Jason Kidd's mouth. The fact that they hired him is indicative of what's going on in the management.
Talk about it in just a moment. With Horford playing Giannis, and then there was a screen on Horford. I'll go ahead right now. What's going?
They are
to
the Warriors
basket,
times
they get a lot of 2
3.
chances.
They've got their 2 biggest guys out.
Smart
Smart is out.
Smart's out.
That's a big additional hit to them. So who you got now? You got Horford.
You got Brad Stevens. You got Brad Stevens. And Brad Stevens, I trust to at least get one series. To at least get one series.
I think we have a bunch of, look, let me show you, since I've already mentioned it before, I haven't really kept up with the season so in depth.
You gotta put that to sleep. You got knowledge.
Listen.
Spit it.
She's been an all-star.
I didn't, a lot of people don't know I started playing basketball.
Bucks moving the ball.
A lot of people, you hear these stories.
5 on the shot clock.
No, not me.
Terry from the
I
corner.
was
Jason
come home from school, SpongeBob, packs and noodles, and
out of the Cubo.
I'm straight, you know.
Packs
Until
and
moms
noodles.
come home and I gotta hit the books, you know. But
Milwaukee loses in
I never really watched basketball until
Now
like, you
31,
know, I walked in
26
with my
after
brother
12 minutes
watching
on
and
the
I'm
other
like,
side. Jason
sports, I'm
Tatum
leaving.
leading the Celtics
They
with off the
good,
mystery
so I
by
didn't
Marcus
even
Morris.
pick them. No, they're not. They wouldn't
Giannis
even
head
be
of
here
steam.
Look,
at all. I just knew that, and you know, and I don't even keep up with it, and I didn't.
the Bucks are lucky that they have
I'm just
Giannis
disappointed right
Antetokounmpo. The Greek Freak is the only thing that I would say. The Greek Freak and Parker are the only. Bledsoe is iffy. Bledsoe is iffy. I still gotta see Bledsoe perform 5 games in a row of some solid basketball before I put any faith in him being a lead point guard.
Okay, so you guys know I'm gonna
Yes.
It's not because I'm a diehard loyalist.
That's just not because of that.
It's not because
It's not. Okay. Okay.
It's not. You are literally
With
Boston
regular
Celtics
season home games remaining
are up against the number 2
missed the first round of
player in the
playoffs, stolen
Eastern
by Parker,
Conference
Bledsoe.
right now.
Throws it out for Jabari.
And I think
Eddie Allen sees
that
2, so they go to the post left
coaching-wise,
side. Horford against
Brad
Henson.
can
Baines coming in
steal
from the
maybe
weak
a
side.
couple games. I think on the road, in the Bradley Center, I do not. If you've not gone in there, that place gets loud. I do not think that you guys have estimated the Bucks favorably with the shortcomings on the floor for the Boston Celtics. I hear what you're saying. I would agree with you if he had Kyrie or if he had Hayward. If he had one of them, I'd be like, oh, Boston Celtics all day. He has neither of them.
I've seen Brad Stevens go to back-to-back NCAA championship with players who are now picking up groceries.
Hey, Shelvin Mack plays for Orlando.
Listen. Brad Stevens does wonders, and his defensive schemes are magical. He is gonna find a way to isolate Giannis to make Giannis just like how he did with who was that last year that they played? Can't remember, slips my mind. But he isolates them, makes sure that they're gonna be in positions that they're not accustomed. So Giannis is gonna have to shoot some jumpers. It's gonna look bad.
Let me say this. What did you say about the NCAA tournament? What did you say about the NCAA tournament?
Oh, that my personal beliefs of the NCAA.
What did you say about it?
That it's a crapshoot.
Okay.
But the fact that this man got 2 teams back to back to the NCAA tournament speaks to his coaching ability.
Absolutely. And then he lost because of the talent ability.
3-point mate.
So when he got to the highest level, talent overruled coaching.
In a one game, we're talking about a series.
I give you that. And you know,
this is going 6 games.
We'll let you shoot those.
I think you guys are going to be sitting around here at the end of the series going, what?
Let's look at the schedule. When will we be at game 6? When will we be at game 6?
Okay, let's check.
Strong Henson right back to him. Middleton for Henson. That's how you pay.
Talent ability.
All right, when do we get a game 6?
Yes, when will we get a game 6 out of this shit?
Bucks get it. Tyler Zeller with a touch over to Parker. Parker powers through the deep. Bledsoe to the free throw line. He kicks it out. Jason Terry right to the paint.
April 26th.
April 26th. That is
April 12th. Jesus, 14 days. That's 2 weeks.
But that would be right before Infinity War. We would be seeing that night will be the 26th will be the
and
Thursday.
There's no wind down. Wind down's over
so
next
that
week.
Thursday we gonna actually be here.
Yeah,
we gonna be on set. And we can talk about it when the Boston Celtics close out.
We don't know what time it is yet, so.
Well, we'll talk about it when the Boston Celtics close out the Bucks that Thursday.
Okay.
The 26th.
All right. Any other input on that series?
I'm just still baffled about
that the Bucks are in there.
That too. I'm most definitely gonna hang that over your head for the rest of 18.
Yeah,
the
please
year.
do. Please do. I'm gonna hang over your head that you got Boston going to the finals.
It's better than you, Bucks. Okay, so when we discovered that the game 6 would be on April 26th, you know, you were so wowed. Was it because
that's
it's
a
so
long time?
Really, that is a short time.
That's 2 weeks.
Weeks for 6 games.
2 full weeks.
Yes.
6 games that y'all want these people to
But listen, at
110%.
I have no problem with
so many injuries.
But listen,
in the NBA.
I have no problem
now.
with what they've done with the playoffs.
I hear you, Buckets.
I have no problem. Listen,
I'm telling you what they are.
This is what they used to do.
Yes,
injuries.
This is what they used to do, and this is where that whole playoff thing came, because you were talking about now they get rest and they get time. That didn't that's a recent development. They used to go hard.
Well, they used to go 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off.
No, they used to go home game, break.
Well, no,
then to the other people's home game. They would do back-to-back
games. They weren't doing back-to-back games.
I think I remember that.
Back-to-backs?
I think.
In the playoffs?
Not back-to-back, like, you know.
It'd be a day off.
It'll be at least every 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, it'll be a day off. So if they play Tuesday, they play Thursday.
Up and we'll have to research that.
What years are you thinking?
I can't remember,
I want to say like back 2000, at least 2012.
Not that recent, man.
Really? No.
Yeah, I'm thinking 90s.
I'm thinking before the modern format, the way that they switched it up.
We was in high school. I remember that. Sorry,
you was in high school.
My bad.
What year was that?
That would have been 1990s, early 90s.
Ooh-wee.
All right. Next series, 76ers versus the magical Miami Heat. How'd they make it in? We don't know yet.
Supposed to.
Season series 2-2. Everybody picked the Sixers in this one.
Yes.
So, but here's the one thing. Like, okay, Miami got this far, surprisingly. They've got experience.
That was a bid.
Who's their experience?
Who's their experience?
Besides Wade.
Their coach, Wade, and I think they got one other player that's been on there for like 20 years.
Yeah, they got Udonis Haslem. They got Udonis Haslem. He's still there. Him and Dwayne Wade pop champagne.
That's what type of relationship I got. Y'all still together? Yes.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that that's going to win them the series, but
I got them
will
winning the
they
game.
win any game?
I got them winning a game.
One game?
Look, the way they played against the Pacers, I'm like, okay, is this warm-ups or is it shoot around before the game?
Right.
Are y'all doing it during the game time and y'all gonna have a game when we not here? I'm just confused. It was terrible. I was surprised.
What's exciting?
And then Wade didn't even start either.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, it was surprising. I wouldn't have played him.
He's not starting now. I think he's always coming off the bench, right?
Listen, they may get a game. And if they get a game, it's because Dwayne Wade called back to 2013. He's got a
30-point game in him, right?
Yeah, and he brought it out, and Father Time showed favorably on him on that night. But other than that, 76ers is going to run right over them.
And they have Embiid.
Yes. Yes, the phantom of the process. Yes.
The phantom of the process.
Listen, that's the storyline. Him and Hassan Whiteside, and them going at the beginning of the season, they was going at it over Twitter. Now they actually got 7 games to go at it.
Or 5.
Or 5. It's going to be 5. But
it's going to be heated.
Yeah, it's going to be heated.
And Hussein, he's a post.
Yep.
Ooh, that's gonna be.
It's gonna be good.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be good.
Embiid's gonna give it to him.
I think he is.
He's gonna give it to him.
I need to look up some.
We got a comment?
No. Well, yeah, I have some information for you.
Okay.
The 1992 NBA playoffs. Let's look at here. Boston Celtics versus the Indiana Pacers in the first round. The first game was played April 23rd. And the second game was played, both games played in the Garden, April 23rd. Then the second game was played April 25th, followed by Game 3 in Market Square Arena.
Market Square.
2 days after that.
So it'll be 2 days, okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what they will give the day for travel.
Right.
1 day for travel.
Now you got 3 days in between.
Yeah, now you got 3.
But that's not even.
4.
Let's not lie.
It should be like that.
Let's not lie. It's not to give them rest. It's for TV.
Not.
It's TV. Yeah. It's
money. It's you
money.
have 1-2 games on a night, and you stretch that playoff revenue out.
Yes.
Yep.
So, all right. Next series, Cleveland versus
Rocks.
Indiana Pacers. Regular season, Cleveland only took 1 from Indiana. Now, before you guys say anything, Indiana fans, I want you to look at me. I want you to look at me and listen to me. I know that this is tempting to you to believe that
Indiana
Oladipo is the man. He's your new guy. He's the man in Indiana that's going to bring you guys through it. LeBron is LeChoke. He's a bum. He's not, he doesn't really perform in high-level situations. Whatever your story is. Look at me. Are you looking at me? Indiana is not beating Cleveland.
Not a chance.
It ain't happening.
Not a chance.
Please don't go into this with your hopes up, because I know Indiana fans. I know y'all are believing this shit.
You know
it
how,
ain't happening.
You know how hype the Baker's life is gonna be when they
down 0-2 and they come in like
they come in. Yeah,
we're gonna take 2.
Beat LeBron.
We're gonna take 2. Lance Stevenson is here. He's gonna defend LeBron.
Yeah, right. Listen, Indiana, listen, I love you. I love you. You should be happy if the Pacers get a game.
If they get a game.
If they get a game, this is a great year. Cheer. Everybody have a parade.
We can build on this.
Yeah. But listen, this is going to be over quick, fast, and in a hurry. LeBron is a different animal, and Pacers ain't got nothing to stop LeBron.
So Pacers don't have coaching?
Pacers don't have, no, they don't have.
The Pacers, I mean, they do got some good players, though. But I feel
they
like
do have good players.
Their players are, maybe it's me, I haven't done all of my research, but it seems like their players are kind of young.
Very young.
And not really veterans.
So wait a minute, you don't think Nate McMillan's a good coach?
No. Whoa, no. Listen, Nate McMillan, I was all on board for Nate McMillan to be actually fired in the last season. Nate McMillan, his biggest, downfall is the fact that he doesn't know how to fully utilize his players. What he's got a lightning in the bottle with this season is that the trade actually benefited them and actually helping them to open up the floor. Oladipo came in tip-top shape and performed to a level that they weren't expecting, and Sabonis actually played like a starting center power forward. That's what happened. But the idea that Nate McMillan is a positive coach here, nah, I'm not gonna buy it.
Brianna, you said something about age, correct?
Yes.
And you said that you believe Indiana is a very young team, correct?
It looks like it.
Well, I'm here to tell you not only do they look like it, but you are absolutely correct. The Indiana Pacers are the 3rd youngest team ranked by age. The oldest being, anyone know?
Cleveland.
Anyone?
The oldest team?
The oldest by rank.
Chicago?
That's in the playoffs.
Oh.
Look, back right.
Well, I say Cleveland. That's not it.
Spurs.
It's the Heat.
J. Cole says Cleveland.
Heat.
Brianna says Heat.
Spurs. Or Houston.
The Reggie Mathis says Spurs. The answer is Believeland. Cleveland is the 16th seeded by age. Indiana is the 3rd.
It makes sense. I mean, you got George Hill, you got LeBron, you got
me. I'm
flying out.
I'm on the depth chart. I'm going out. Knees have been iced up.
Yeah, so you
Back
ready?
has been. Listen, I'm as ready as I'm gonna be.
You think Lou gonna give you the call?
Yeah, Lou's got to give me the call, man. Like,
of course he is.
Me and Lou actually play AAU together.
I wish I had that picture of Lou.
But I mentioned age because, you know, when you play younger teams, their flaws are so, I mean, out in the open. You can tell who doesn't know how to handle the ball under pressure. You can tell who, you know, when you run up to them, they're about to shoot a three, you know, so, I mean, they're going to miss or you're scaring them. And I feel like younger teams are most definitely at a disadvantage. Just in general, it could be in the regular season too. You see a lot of flaws.
And I think that is another location, another source for this myth of playoff basketball, because you get to focus your attention on one team and those players, and you start noticing shit that they were able to mask during the regular season.
That's exactly. That's exactly what it is. You start to be you're able to actually use your advanced scouting. So you know exactly when Oladipo was coming off of that high pick and roll, that he likes to dribble between his legs and try to pull up for the J. You know exactly all of the tendencies, so you can hone in. And if you're mentally tough like LeBron James is, then you can pick off on all of those.
Yeah, as he will.
So
yes.
His mental capacity on the court is
it's amazing.
Outrageous.
Absolutely. So we're going to take a little detour. I actually had listed to talk about Lou, but I don't care about Lou. I'm done talking about that guy. Please let them win the championship and he still loses his job.
And he still loses his job.
We're going to touch on something sort of non-basketball right quick just because it's such a hot topic. As we all know, Mr. Tristan Thompson
come on, Tristan.
got caught, or at
allegedly.
Least recently.
Alleged. Hey, we don't know if it's him or not.
No, we know it's him. We don't know when that happened.
Because y'all say women most definitely try to get on black men or because they cheaters. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
Black men do not cheat.
Okay, listen. And
I like where you're going with this.
Where we're going with this.
Look. Okay.
Jamel Hill. The below tweet was a compilation of basketball players acting surprised that Tristan Thomas was the first black man that got caught cheating. Jamel Hill says, my operatives tell me because he's a Canadian, this has no impact on American black men. Therefore, the ruling still stands that black men don't cheat.
Until further
he's black. Let's be
he's
honest.
Canadian. He's not American.
Listen.
But he's from African descent because black people, black and brown people, wherever, we did not get in the United States by walking.
We did.
My parents moved to another job. We were brought over here. Regardless of his ancestors went to Boston or they went to Canada, he's black.
He is black.
He's still Canadian.
But he's Canadian.
He's Canadian.
No impact on American black men.
No,
therefore,
listen.
Because you
we're
guys
upstanding
are tuning
gentlemen.
in on one. Y'all tuning in on countries.
Yes.
Let's take a
my countrymen and my countrymen and my ethnicity.
I'm tuning in on.
You guys are taking advantage of this, and I hate it so much.
My countrymen do not cheat.
Women can never win. She's pregnant. Oh my God.
No, she's not. She had that baby.
She just had the baby.
She had that baby.
When he did cheat at this hookah bar, apparently he was at with
all of the camera angles.
Apparently she was 3 months pregnant at that time.
Oh, okay,
so he's done it before.
So this was way back when.
One of the videos, but the second one, I don't know if you guys seen it when he was walking in with a shorter, female.
And they had like 5 different camera angles.
Yes, apparently. This was in New York when they had a game, so this one's more recent. So that's the thing where it's still a huge deal. Yes, he's not American. You black men are really in America is riding the coast. So y'all could not wait for something like this happen.
We do not saying
this. Jamel Hill.
Hey, look, she's raw. She's
she is the shit.
She tells the truth.
The truth.
Sometimes.
All right, next story. You said she tells the truth. Next story.
Keep it going.
Black men don't cheat.
All right,
let's get to the West Coast. What most say is the best coast. Houston Rockets 4-0 versus the Minnesota Timberwolves during the regular season.
Yeah. Light work.
Can the T-Wolves make some noise? I'm not asking if they can win. Can they make some noise?
Nah.
It's hard to come out. It's hard to come out swinging.
Is that a number 8 or 3?
They're 8.
The
Wolves are 8.
Listen, this is light work. This is gonna this is gonna be over. I give him a game.
Oh, yeah?
Just because I think Jimmy Buckets is gonna pull out one in. I say game 3. He's gonna pull out one late in Minnesota. But this is over. This is over.
Brianna, what you put on that?
Is it 8?
It's 8.
3.
No, Wolves are number 8 versus the number 1.
It speaks for itself. I don't have
Yeah.
Honestly, I would hate to be this type of person because I'm. You can never really judge a team, especially going into the playoffs or an extended season, postseason, what they want to call it. You can't really judge a team off their ranking because one team can beat another, you know. But again, just like the Bucks, they never really. Who's on the Timberwolves?
Timberwolves.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy.
They got Andrew Wiggins.
But didn't he just
Karl
come
Anthony
back?
Towns. Yeah.
He just came back.
They
Was that
got
a knee injury?
Derrick Rose on the bench.
He's a knee injury.
And who do they have as coaching though?
Thibodeau. You talking about coaches?
Listen,
His offensive schemes is.
He's a playoff experienced coach.
His offensive schemes is.
What about your man though? Like let's you guys have not touched this. Maybe you have, and I don't want to touch on your toes. Step on your toes, J. Cole.
Go ahead, because I'll just ride along with it. Go.
So let me ask: are you guys giving Dan D'Antoni that much credit here?
Don't forget, Mike D'Antoni has as much playoff choke history as Harden or Paul.
I would say this. I'm not giving him the credit. I would say I'm giving the collection of talent and the system that is in place the credit, because they have done a great job with fitting the right players for his system. Look, threes count more than twos. They're shooting nothing but threes and layups. I don't think T-Wolves can have anything ready for this blowout.
If the myth of playoff basketball is real, as you two say it is.
I wouldn't call it a myth.
It's not a myth.
Aren't 3-pointers harder to come by?
No,
in the playoffs?
not when that's your.
No, but people are playing harder defense in the playoffs.
But
it's
okay.
a bigger spotlight. It's how your percentage goes down.
Well, it depends.
If that's who you are, right? If that's who you are, that's what you do. That's just the same way. You're sounding a little bit like Charles Barkley now, and that's the same thing he said about Golden State. And Golden State, when they got to the playoffs, guess what they kept doing? They kept hitting 3-pointers, because when it's your makeup of the team and of the players, you're gonna do what you've always done. A dolphin swims in water. The Rockets shoot threes and make them.
I most definitely want to give a small rebuttal, but off of what you said, you're exactly right as far as what I interpreted a role, because everybody, even the bench players, the water person, the trainers, I mean, anything that goes into a team, a franchise team, whatever, there's a role to be played. And that's another reason that I want to speak about it, is because, like you said, if you're a three-pointer, your coach is going to make plays for you to shoot threes, regardless if a team is playing I would say not a 2-3. So of course you shoot threes, okay, cool. You know, there's not a lot of wiggle room because they're not playing man. We're gonna kick the ball inside where our big man, he's probably not even that good, but since he's 7 feet tall, everybody's gonna come to him. He kick it back out. There's a three. It's so easy. There. You know, it like he said, that's their makeup and that's what they do. So in my opinion, it doesn't matter which, either you're in a regular season or the playoffs, they're gonna create that.
They're gonna create it.
That particular player.
Them high pick and rolls.
In my opinion, that's just how.
I think we got a comment.
How did that work out for the Dan D'Antoni led Phoenix Suns?
Well,
when they were.
Let's say this.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Well, let's say this. They were within a suspension of Amari Stoudemire and Sean Marion from actually getting to the finals. Let's be honest, if the refs did not suspend Amari Stoudemire and Sean Marion, in that series, they would have got to the finals.
Shouldas and couldas and wouldas. Then how about his New York Knickerbockers?
Well, that was not a good squad, but they Okay, let's look at that. Let's look at that team.
The coach comes in.
Let's look at that team. What did they do immediately following his firing? They went to the lottery. They won 55, 54 games with D'Antoni and Carmelo as the lead guy. So something about that system works.
In the regular season.
In the regular season. Well, not just in the regular season. They got to the second round, and then they ran into the Pacers squad who had the defensive anchor in Hibbert. But no, that's not what I said. I'm saying they don't have Karl Anthony Towns is not the defensive player that Hibbert is. Hibbert is a better defensive player. Karl Anthony Towns is a trash defensive player. And you can look at every metrics to tell you this. He's an amazing offensive player, but his defense is suspect.
Yeah. Hibbert was a bum too, though.
But defense, they filtered all of. They ran them off the 3-point. They ran them off the 3-point line, filtered them into Hibbert, who was protecting the rim at an astronomical rate. I think it was something like 70%.
That's true.
It's crazy because I can envision both of these things happening. So I'm like, as he's speaking, I'm trying to play it out in my mind. I'm like, yeah, they do, So I wish we really had clips that would make it even better.
Run that beautiful green flag.
Okay, well. Yeah.
Wait, you didn't make a comment.
I did, but my comment is just that I don't believe in this. Yes. Again, we talking about a whole other system and a whole other animal in Golden State. They've got 7 people who can hit 3-pointers.
So Rockets do too. The Rockets do too.
7 players?
They got 7.
Okay.
They got 7.
Okay. I'll next week after I watch a couple of these games, I will tip my hat to you.
I'm interested in that whole series.
They got EJ, Eric Gordon.
You think
I think it's a gentleman's sweep. Just like I said, I think Jimmy Buckets is gonna get 1. They're gonna come back to Minnesota. They're gonna get 1. I say 6. I can see 6. I can see 6, but I think it's gonna be.
I say 6.
All right. All right, so next series, Golden State versus San Antonio. Regular season Warriors are still 3-1. Both of these teams, now these are the teams that could have been. Warriors have had injuries throughout the year.
Yes.
Spurs had the biggest injury of the season, I think.
Yes, by far.
And then all the drama behind it. Like, I bet at this point they wish they had treated Kawhi better, and he was back. Even coming back last week would have helped them.
But yeah, listen, this is going to be difficult for them without Kawhi, because Kawhi does a lot of the things, especially playing against the Warriors, that you need. He can guard every player, especially every player that the Warriors put out there, and he can shoot threes, and he can get his own buckets. I know you're going with San Antonio, J. Cole. You're going to have to find some way to explain this to me, how this is going to work.
I'm going with what I want in this series. I don't believe in Manu Ginobili.
Manu Ginobili is 88 years old.
And he's been killing it for like the last couple games to keep them in the playoffs. You know what I mean? But I don't
so their superior coaching doesn't?
Not when you're facing overwhelmingly superior talent. Like, okay, Milwaukee doesn't have overwhelmingly superior talent. They have one player who is by far the best player.
Cleveland has one player that is by far the best player.
Yeah, but I've already got them going to the
right. But think about that. You have,
but that's overwhelming the best player in that series. I'm not saying he's the best player. I wouldn't even say if he moves forward. So say if Milwaukee does move forward, I wouldn't even say that he's the best player in that series will be against Philly. I think Ben Simmons and Embiid possibly, are better than Giannis. That's my opinion.
Really?
But I would say Giannis in his series, he is the best player. But I think overall, Boston is a better team, better coach. Boston will win.
I'm talking about Popovich, though.
Popovich.
I only said that because of Popovich. Like, I'm not hearing the same respect given. You gave a lot of respect to Brad Stevens, and then you just kind of ran over Greg Popovich, who is by far the basketball czar of the latter part of the 20th and the entire 21st century for NBA professional basketball. And you have given no platitudes. You have given no respect to Greg Popovich. I'm
Listen,
just saying.
Greg Popovich has done an amazing job to get the San Antonio Spurs into the 7th seed. Amazing job. It ends here. He's going up against Kevin Durant. He's going up against Thompson, Klay Thompson. He's going up against a superior run offense and a superior defense. It's too much. It's too much. Now, if he had Kawhi, or if he had 60-70% of Kawhi, I would say that it was a better opportunity. But
yeah, I don't think they're gonna win. But still, like, you didn't even mention them.
Because there's no reason to mention them. It's gonna be 5 games, and it's over.
Okay. All right. Next, Portland Nolans. 2-2. So, regular season they were 2-2. Who'd you have on this one? You had the Blazers. You picked New Orleans.
I picked New Orleans.
Okay. Why do you believe Blazers over New Orleans and
I want to hear
the
his
Browns?
answer first.
Okay, go ahead, my friend.
I picked New Orleans.
Refers to the gentleman.
Yes.
The distinguished gentleman from Indianapolis.
Strictly for AD. That's the only reason. I have no real hard, fast opinions on this. I just think AD is gonna find a way to carry his team to a first-round victory. He's got to. If he's gonna be a legacy-defining player and not get known as a player who's either not in the playoffs or ousted in the first round, he's got to get to the second round.
Buckets?
I just looked at the roster.
She just looked at the roster.
Right,
Portland has players. New Orleans has
New Orleans has Anthony Davis.
Exactly.
And
one player cannot carry the team.
Yeah, they can.
Completely.
LeBron James
they can.
How many rings does he have?
3 rings.
Yeah, LeBron. Yeah, 3.
And 18 finals, which is damn
so,
impressive.
One of those rings, have he won by himself? Like, were there any other key players on his team?
There was some key players.
Exactly. So
but
we're not talking about the finals.
I'm just saying, in general, like,
this
one
is playoff
player,
basketball.
One player.
But that's why I'm just saying there's the reason why he chose him, because I knew.
I like how she keeps looking at the camera to make sure you see my eyes.
No, like, I'm looking at the screen, the Portland, one player can't carry the team. That's why there's nobody else on New Orleans but Anthony Davis.
Boogie down.
He's down?
Yeah, he's been down.
He's been down since.
Oh, I thought he was coming back.
No,
he's still not ready to come back.
Yeah, they knew he wasn't coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, Portland wins this series.
I got Portland too. So, but Portland struggled at the end of the season. Like, they had 3 chances to clinch the 3rd seed, and they didn't do it until the last day of the season. Is that indicative of anything?
Well, it could be. Just when you're running off of guards who actually, I looked this up today. They have they run the most amount of miles in a game. Their guards do. Wow. So those mileage is piling up.
Can you imagine there's somebody to sit back and count that? Like,
those are
job is it?
Those are stats.
Count how many miles Dame Lillard is running in a game.
Those are stats.
That's the worst job ever.
How would they even? I'm just trying. Would they? The down and back.
So now,
measure?
So now they have the analytics can track the players' movements all around the court.
Man,
so
technology is expanding like crazy.
All right, what do we got? I think this is gonna be a Davis coming out party, though. To be honest with you,
I hope so.
I feel like that.
I hope so.
And they may not win the series, but I feel like Davis.
This is gonna be some NBA TV.
This is, even talking this season. This is his chance, win or lose, to show the world who you is.
Absolutely.
All right. Last, Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Utah Jazz.
I think it's gonna be a fun series.
It's gonna be very fun.
So regular season, Thunder got 3-1.
Oh, can I put a caveat on that?
Please.
The last time that these two teams played was actually it's either December or January.
Yeah, it was. They played all last year.
Yeah.
One of those games, I want to say Utah held Westbrook to single digits.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's what I have to say before I ask y'all. This is what I have to say about this. Spurs having that major injury. Golden State having injury. Minnesota having injuries. The Utah Jazz should have been the number 18. They were not victims, but beneficiaries of circumstance this season because of all this. Not to say that they didn't work their asses off, and these boys have been playing, but they would not have been the number 5 seed had there not been all those injuries.
That's true. That's true. But what did he say? You play to win the game. Listen, they put whoever was in front of them.
Pelicans too. The Pelicans had their Cousins.
Yeah, with Cousins. I will say this: the Jazz are looking like a real squad, just like how I was saying with Philly, and the excitement and the enjoyment that you see with the players and everybody's shaking, giving high fives, they pouring water on each other. That's the Jazz in the West. It's going to be awfully hard to eliminate them and the synergy that's going around on that squad.
I agree. I don't think they're going to lose, though.
I think Jazz
I don't think they're going to win
7.
this. Yeah.
I'm picking Jazz in 7. And the reason why I'm saying that is strictly off of the synergy of that squad. They've got a lot going on, and it just seems like it's their time.
I would like to chime in on this matchup.
Please do.
I think you're absolutely right. I am not disagreeing with one thing that you have said except the outcome. I think the synergy of Utah is amazing. Like, when you want to talk about gelling, I think they are the best gel team in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
I think if they had a veteran B player, a veteran B player in the starting rotation, a guy that could get his own shot off, that's not a ball-dominant player, I think they could have pushed themselves maybe to the 3rd round. Like, they could have made noise. But here's the thing. When you said at the top of the show, Russell Westbrook is a different animal.
Yes, he is.
He is. Let us be very clear, and I want to be heard when I say this. He is the heir apparent of Michael Jordan's competitive nature and his intensity. It is not Kobe Bryant. It is Russell Westbrook. Because Kobe talked intensity. He looked intense. But this guy, he goes out there. Like, I used to, you know, it's funny. Nobody complained when Michael Jordan was grabbing 8, 9, 10 rebounds in the game. Right. You remember, Michael would, you be like, God, dog, Mike, like, he would jump. Listen, the two of them have such a similar game. It's unreal. And I'm amazed that people don't talk about that. I think Game 7, 2 minutes on the clock, and the game is close. I think the man, the legend, the monster among boys squeaks this out. I think if all Carmelo has to do, bitch, when I drive into the lane and I kick it,
if I kick it to you,
pretend that this is the Olympics. And knock down them.
Give me 45% of your shots, and we good.
And that's gonna be a fun.
It's gonna be
series.
Extremely fun. I think.
This is almost a one-man versus a team.
Well, because we've seen Paul George does not want any parts of these here playoffs. Paul George shrinks in the moments. And Westbrook comes up big. This is going to be an exciting series. It's probably maybe my second favorite series. Probably my second favorite.
The first round?
Yeah, the first round.
Do you still have that stat? Do you know, is the Jazz one of the top ranked for age?
Give me
because they're pretty young too.
Yeah, they.
I was trying to look up that move I wanted to show.
They gotta be number 2.
I wanted to show buckets.
4.
Donovan
Utah
Mitchell
is number 7.
Oh, okay.
7. Who's holding them now?
Who's number 1?
Number 7.
Stefalucia.
Yes, Tabo is holding them
The
down.
youngest team in the playoffs is Portland.
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 Yeah.
Toronto's 2, Indiana's 3.
Yeah, because you got JJ Redick and you got
Myers.
you got a whole bunch of old people.
Philly,
on there.
But there was a clip of Donovan Mitchell, who's, if anybody's a star on Jazz, Donovan Mitchell is the star. Man, he crossed over Draymond Green so bad.
Oh yeah, I think I seen that.
He crossed him over so bad.
Draymond,
I think he was like high key flopping, like trying to, because for some reason refs, I don't know, maybe they changed the rules or something, but now they're starting to pay attention more to screens.
To the screens,
than anything. So I think because you can really act hurt.
Well,
off some
and
screens.
guess what you got out of that non-flop? Out of that flop, you got everybody thinking you got crossed over. You're supposed to be the defensive mastermind, and this young cat took you, and that's how I'm calling it. That's my narrative. Trust me, always says we got no narratives at FCN, but I got a narrative.
I got a narrative.
Draymond Green got crossed over by Donovan Mitchell.
That was bad.
That was terrible.
That was bad.
Whatever he was trying to do.
So, the consensus is the Rockets versus the Cavs.
Yes.
I know that's not who you have, but you still got the Rockets going.
We'll see.
Regular season, Rockets took it. I think if they get to this point, I think you have the Cavaliers, LeBron James, at a level where they can play good enough defense, where LeBron can be intense enough, where Paul and Harden, they're going to play hard. I don't think Harden is going to choke, but I don't see him elevating his game like LeBron does. I don't see D'Antoni. Well, actually, coaches will not play a factor in this series.
This series is gonna be roll out the ball. We gonna play. It's gonna play ground rules, and the winning team is the that's the last team that stands. Like this is definitely gonna be an interesting series. The only thing that scares me about the Cavaliers and why I didn't pick them is their defense is atrocious. And it's not getting any better. They have no defensive players. Like when you have a squad, you want to have some players that just dedicate their time to defense. They don't have that. So I just don't see how they can stop Houston from putting up 130 every game.
That's a good point. I'm going to tell you this right now. If this picture changes and it actually ends up being Golden State versus Cavs, I'm not doing this show next year. I'm boycotting the freaking NBA. I don't want to see that series again.
What if it's Houston versus Toronto?
Yeah, I'll watch that. I'll be happy.
You
with
watch that?
Okay. I actually predicted Toronto a few weeks ago. I was like, yo, they look.
I don't want to see Toronto. I'd rather see Sixers.
I don't want to see Toronto. I don't. But I would still watch, and I would still be an NBA fan. If it's Cavs Golden State, I'm like, okay. I would not be mad. I'm pulling for LeBron all the way, but I would not be mad if Philly won.
I would like to see, to be honest with you, I mean, I didn't say they're going, but I would like to see Philly get into the finals because then we have a blossoming, almost how like the Thunder when they had Westbrook and they had KD and they had Harden and they got to the championship. We didn't see that come to fruition. We may see it in Philly, so that's my only hope.
All right. Okay. Well, I think that's all the playoffs we got for today.
Playoffs.
Any closing thoughts, Brianna?
No, not really. I'm just excited to see how everything's going to play out, especially with a lot of teams having just kind of one-man bands, not really a full, solid 6 or 7 players. But honestly, prepared to possibly lose of whatever bet that's in the future.
Let me tell you something.
But I'm still excited to see, just everything how, play out.
The thing about it is, in the end, no matter what else, if the Rockets win, you get to brag. So, regardless of how the rest of this bracket is, if the Rockets win,
I picked the right team.
We definitely want you back. If you can't come back,
Most definitely.
Or if there's a Thursday where you're not here, trust me when I tell you, I will still be putting this on full blast every week.
Don't roast me.
All three of these are going full blast,
especially if Boston loses in the first round.
Oh man,
if they lose in the first round,
it's over.
Yeah,
I don't care what happens after that. I'm bragging every single episode. Every episode. Reg, you got any closing thoughts?
My only closing thoughts is I'm excited. Like, I haven't been this excited for the playoffs in a while. Like, usually you go into the playoffs and you kind of know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
I don't really know what's going to happen. I'm just throwing out ideas and what I think when you put two teams together, what's going to happen. But I don't know, man. Like, to be honest with you, we could pull up and it's OKC versus Philly, or it's OKC versus Toronto, and I
wouldn't be surprised. I don't want that, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think, and that's what it is for me, is that last year, from the opening tip of the first game, I knew what the outcome was.
Yes.
And it happened. Everybody knew that was going to happen. I was pulling for Cleveland, but everybody knew they were going to lose. They were going to make it, and it was going to be Golden State over Cleveland, right? This year, people were probably thinking it was going to be the same thing.
Yep.
All the changes that happens, all the injuries, and now we're looking at this playoffs like, man, there's a lot of teams is up in the air.
Yep.
So I think that's why it will be so disappointing if it does end up being Golden State Cleveland again, because all the potential got you hyped up.
Yeah.
And it was like, come on.
And it's no way for that series to actually be a good series.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's no way.
Like, that would be worse. So 2 seasons ago, 7 games, Cleveland had to go all out, pull out every stop to win. Last year, what was it, 6 games?
Yeah,
Cleveland,
no, 5 games.
Was it 5 games?
5 games.
Cleveland never really looked like they had a chance, but, this year it would just be like, I'm not tuning in.
Yeah, and LeBron James will literally have to give his soul to, to
what he needs to do is go out there first game, cold cock Durant, kick Curry in the knee, take that 1 game suspension. They're out, and he's playing the rest of the or have Tristan do it.
Send Tristan. He ain't doing nothing else.
He ain't doing nothing else anyway. I mentioned that earlier when we were talking about him, quote unquote, cheating. Cheater or not, Tristan ain't never been valuable to me on the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Tristan has been a wash.
How do y'all think LeBron feel about that?
LeBron, listen. I think LeBron feel too. I think this is one of my ideas. I thought LeBron actually sent them to kind of break up the Kardashian home so that Tristan could kind of get his head in the game.
That don't sound too bad, because when you're, in my opinion, I feel like LeBron took a lot for him to get the money that he got, and, get signed, and you're in an open. You're out in the open with your girlfriend or whatever they want to be. She's a very high profile TV personality.
Yes.
And you roll with LeBron. It kind of looked kind of sketch how you was just out in the open, just taking pictures. It's like you would think they would be more secretive.
Yeah, LeBron don't like the scandals.
I mean, he don't.
I think LeBron sent his operatives out there to.
But I don't know. That's not like, I don't know if that's LeBron's heart though. He got to break.
I think he's trying to break up that home. He
get him focused.
Yeah, get him focused.
Yeah. I don't know if he liked the game that much to break up.
Yes, he does.
And he has kids too. I mean, at the end of the day, we can.
Yeah, but he's doing Tristan a favor.
Yeah.
But these are people. These are
real
lives.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he'll mess with it too much like that. But
if LeBron is.
It's his life too. It's his money. It's his pocket.
If LeBron is me, he would have sent.
That is so bogus.
He would have sent them to Tristan.
Agreed.
That is so bogus.
All right. On that note, we're gonna close out the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Brianna, thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
You're welcome.
We enjoyed you thoroughly. You definitely are invited back anytime you want to come.
Thank you.
My man, the Reggie Mathis.
Yes, sir.
As always, I appreciate it. Appreciate FCN family. We will see you guys next week.